Welcome to the Ultimate CLF-C02 Exam Masterclass. Are you ready to crack the CLF-C02 exam in one go? You're in the right place. In this session, we'll arm you with powerful insights and hand-picked questions that can make all the difference in your exam performance. We've scanned the web using intelligent crawlers to gather the most critical and high-impact questions, all compiled into one powerful PDF resource. You can download it from the link in the description. Not only will we explore these must-practice questions, but we'll also share real exam experiences and pro tips to give you that competitive edge. Let's dive into the key questions that could shape your success. Question 1. A company plans to use an Amazon Snowball Edge device to transfer files to the AWS cloud. Which activities related to a Snowball Edge device are available to the company at no cost? A. Use of the Snowball Edge appliance for a 10-day period. B. The transfer of data out of Amazon S3 into the Snowball Edge appliance. C. The transfer of data from the Snowball Edge appliance into Amazon S3. D. Daily use of the Snowball Edge appliance after 10 days. Correct answer, C. The transfer of data from the Snowball Edge appliance into Amazon S3. Explanation: AWS does not charge for importing data from Snowball Edge into S3. Costs may apply for export, extended usage, or retrieval operations. Question 2. A company has deployed applications on Amazon EC2 instances. The company needs to assess application vulnerabilities and must identify infrastructure deployments that do not meet best practices. A. AWS Trusted Advisor. B. Amazon Inspector. C. AWS Config. D. Amazon Guard Duty. Correct answer B. Amazon Inspector. Explanation: Amazon Inspector scans EC2 instances for vulnerabilities and deviations. It helps improve security posture by identifying issues proactively. Question 3. A company has a centralized group of users with large file storage requirements that have exceeded the space available on premises. The company wants to extend its file storage capabilities for this group while retaining the performance benefit of sharing content locally. What is the most operationally efficient AWS solution for this scenario? A. Create an Amazon S3 bucket for each user. Mount each bucket by using an S3 file system mounting utility. B. Configure and deploy an AWS Storage Gateway file gateway. Connect each user's workstation to the file gateway. C. Move each user's working environment to Amazon Workspaces. Set up an Amazon Workdocs account for each user. D. Deploy an Amazon EC2 instance and attach an Amazon EBS provisioned IOPS volume. Share the EBS volume directly with the users. Correct answer B. Configure and deploy an AWS Storage Gateway file gateway. Connect each user's workstation to the file gateway. Explanation: the file gateway provides seamless, local access to cloud-backed storage. It extends on-premises storage without disrupting user workflows. Question 4. According to security best practices, how should an Amazon EC2 instance be given access to an Amazon S3 bucket? A. Hardcode an IAM user's secret key and access key directly in the application, and upload the file. B. Store the IAM user's secret key and access key in a text file on the EC2 instance, read the keys, then upload the file. C. Have the EC2 instance assume a role to obtain the privileges to upload the file. D. Modify the S3 bucket policy so that any service can upload to it at any time. Correct answer, C. Have the EC2 instance assume a role to obtain the privileges to upload the file. Explanation: using IAM roles allows temporary, secure credentials for EC2 instances. This avoids hard-coding credentials and follows best practice. Question 5. Which option is a customer responsibility when using Amazon DynamoDB under the AWS Shared Responsibility model? A. Physical security of DynamoDB. B. Patching of DynamoDB. C. Access to DynamoDB tables. D. Encryption of data at rest in DynamoDB. Correct answer, C. Access to DynamoDB tables. Explanation. Customers are responsible for controlling access through IAM policies. AWS manages the infrastructure, but access control is up to the user. Question 6. A user needs programmatic access to AWS resources through the AWS CLI or the AWS API. Which option will provide the user with the appropriate access? A. Amazon Inspector. B. Access keys. C. SSH public keys. D. AWS Key Management Service, AWS KMS keys. Correct answer B. Access key. Explanation. Access keys enable programmatic access to AWS services via the CLI or API by authenticating requests. Question 7. Which option is a perspective that includes foundational capabilities of the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework, AWS CAF? A. Sustainability. B. Performance efficiency. C. Governance. D. Reliability. Correct answer, C. Governance. Explanation. Governance is part of AWS CAF's foundational perspectives. It ensures proper decision-making and accountability structures. Question 8. A company wants to run a NoSQL database on Amazon EC2 instances. Which task is the responsibility of AWS in this scenario? A. Update the guest operating system of the EC2 instances. B. Maintain high availability at the database layer. C. Patch the physical infrastructure that hosts the EC2 instances. D. Configure the security group firewall. Correct answer, C. Patch the physical infrastructure that hosts the EC2 instances. Explanation. AWS is responsible for maintaining and securing physical infrastructure. Customers manage the OS, apps, and data on EC2 instances. Question 9. Which AWS services or tools can identify right-sizing opportunities for Amazon EC2 instances? Choose 2. A. AWS Cost Explorer. B. AWS Billing Conductor. C. Amazon Code Guru. D. Amazon SageMaker. E. AWS Compute Optimizer. Correct answers A and E. AWS Cost Explorer. AWS Compute Optimizer. Explanation. Cost Explorer provides visibility into usage patterns and spending. Compute Optimizer suggests optimal EC2 instance types based on metrics. Question 10. Which of the following are benefits of using AWS Trusted Advisor? Choose 2. A. Providing high-performance container orchestration. B. Creating and rotating encryption keys. C. Detecting underutilized resources to save costs. D. Improving security by proactively monitoring the AWS environment. E. Implementing enforced tagging across AWS resources. Correct answers C and D. Detecting underutilized resources to save costs. Improving security by proactively monitoring the AWS environment. Explanation. Trusted Advisor recommends actions to reduce cost and enhance security. It evaluates AWS environments against best practices in real time. Question 11. Which of the following is an advantage that users experience when they move on-premises workloads to the AWS cloud? A. Elimination of expenses for running and maintaining data centers. B. Price discounts that are identical to discounts from hardware providers. C. Distribution of all operational controls to AWS. D. Elimination of operational expenses. Correct answer A. Elimination of expenses for running and maintaining data centers. Explanation. Moving to AWS removes the need for costly physical infrastructure. It helps reduce capital expenditures and ongoing maintenance efforts. Question 12. A company wants to manage deployed IT services and govern its infrastructure as code (IAC) templates. Which AWS service will meet this requirement? A. AWS Resource Explorer. B. AWS Service Catalog. C. AWS Organizations. D. AWS Systems Manager. Correct answer B. AWS Service Catalog. Explanation. AWS Service Catalog helps control IAC templates and service provisioning. It enforces compliance and standardizes deployments across teams. Question 13. Which AWS service or tool helps users visualize, understand, and manage spending and usage over time? A. AWS Organizations. B. AWS Pricing Calculator. C. AWS Cost Explorer. D. AWS Service Catalog. Correct answer, C. AWS Cost Explorer. Explanation. AWS Cost Explorer offers detailed charts and usage trends. It enables cost optimization by tracking where and how money is spent. Question 14. A company is using a central data platform to manage multiple types of data for its customers. The company wants to use AWS services to discover, transform, and visualize the data. Which combination of AWS services should the company use to meet these requirements? Choose 2. A. AWS Glue. B. Amazon Elastic File System, Amazon EFS. C. Amazon Redshift. D. Amazon QuickSight. E. Amazon Quantum Ledger Database, Amazon QLB. Correct answers A and D. AWS Glue. Amazon QuickSight. Explanation. AWS Glue is used for data discovery and transformation at scale. Amazon QuickSight delivers powerful business intelligence and visualization. Question 15. A global company wants to migrate its third-party applications to the AWS cloud. The company wants help from a global team of experts to complete the migration faster and more reliably in accordance with AWS internal best practices. Which AWS service or resource will meet these requirements? A. AWS Support. B. AWS Professional Services. C. AWS Launch Wizard. D. AWS Managed Services AMS. Correct answer B. AWS Professional Services. Explanation. AWS Professional Services helps enterprises migrate using AWS best practices. They provide expert guidance throughout the cloud adoption journey. Question 16. An e-learning platform needs to run an application for 2 months each year. The application will be deployed on Amazon EC2 instances. Any application downtime during those 2 months must be avoided. Which EC2 purchasing option will meet these requirements most cost-effectively? A. Reserved instances. B. Dedicated hosts. C. Spot instances. D. On-demand instances. Correct answer D. On-demand instances. Explanation. On-demand instances are ideal for short-term, reliable workloads. They avoid long-term commitments while ensuring full availability. Question 17. A developer wants to deploy an application quickly on AWS without manually creating the required resources. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? A. Amazon EC2. B. AWS Elastic Beanstalk. C. AWS Code Build. D. Amazon Personalize. Correct answer B. AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Explanation. Elastic Beanstalk automates deployment, scaling, and management of apps. It lets developers focus on code rather than infrastructure setup. Question 18. A company is storing sensitive customer data in an Amazon S3 bucket. The company wants to protect the data from accidental deletion or overwriting. Which S3 feature should the company use to meet these requirements? A. S3 Lifecycle Rules. B. S3 Versioning. C. S3 Bucket Policies. D. S3 Server-Side Encryption. Correct answer B. S3 Versioning. Explanation: S3 versioning keeps multiple versions of objects in a bucket. It allows rollback or recovery from accidental deletions or changes. Question 19. Which AWS service provides the ability to manage infrastructure as code? A. AWS Code Pipeline. B. AWS Code Deploy. C. AWS Direct Connect. D. AWS CloudFormation. Correct answer D. AWS CloudFormation. Explanation: CloudFormation lets users define infrastructure as code using templates. It automates provisioning and ensures consistent deployments. Question 20. An online gaming company needs to choose a purchasing option to run its Amazon EC2 instances for 1 year. The web traffic is consistent, and any increases in traffic are predictable. The EC2 instances must be online and available without any disruption. Which EC2 instance purchasing option will meet these requirements most cost-effectively? A. On-demand instances. B. Reserved instances. C. Spot instances. D. Spot fleet. Correct answer B. Reserved instances. Explanation: Reserved instances offer significant cost savings for steady workloads. They provide guaranteed capacity and predictable billing for long-term use. Question 21. Which AWS service or feature allows a user to establish a dedicated network connection between a company's on-premises data center and the AWS cloud? A. AWS Direct Connect. B. VPC peering. C. AWS VPN. D. Amazon Route 53. Correct answer A. AWS Direct Connect. Explanation: AWS Direct Connect provides a dedicated, high-bandwidth network link. It offers lower latency and more consistent network performance. Question 22. Which option is a physical location of the AWS global infrastructure? A. AWS Data Sync. B. AWS Region. C. Amazon Connect. D. AWS Organizations. Correct answer B. AWS Region. Explanation: An AWS region is a geographic area containing multiple data centers. Regions enable low latency, geographically distributed deployments. Question 23. A company wants to protect its AWS cloud information, systems, and assets while performing risk assessment and mitigation tasks. Which pillar of the AWS well-architected framework is supported by these goals? A. Reliability. B. Security. C. Operational excellence. D. Performance efficiency. Correct answer B. Security. Explanation: The security pillar focuses on protecting data, systems, and assets. It includes identity, access control, encryption, and risk management. Question 24. What is the purpose of having an internet gateway within a VPC? A. To create a VPN connection to the VPC. B. To allow communication between the VPC and the internet. C. To impose bandwidth constraints on internet traffic. D. To load balance traffic from the internet across Amazon EC2 instances. Correct answer B. to allow communication between the VPC and the Internet. Explanation: an Internet gateway enables inbound and outbound traffic over the Internet. It is required for public-facing instances within a VPC. Question 25. A company is running a monolithic on-premises application that does not scale and is difficult to maintain. The company has a plan to migrate the application to AWS and divide the application into microservices. Which best practice of the AWS well-architected framework is the company following with this plan? A. Integrate functional testing as part of AWS deployment. B. Use automation to deploy changes. C. Deploy the application to multiple locations. D. Implement loosely coupled dependencies. Correct answer D. Implement loosely coupled dependencies. Explanation: loosely coupled architectures improve scalability and maintainability. This approach supports independent deployment and faster iteration. Question 26. A company has an AWS account. The company wants to audit its password and access key rotation details for compliance purposes. Which AWS service or tool will meet this requirement? A. IAM Access Analyzer. B. AWS Artifact. C. IAM Credential Report. D. AWS Audit Manager. Correct answer, C. IAM Credential Report. Explanation: the IAM Credential Report provides key rotation and usage history. It helps monitor compliance with security best practices. Question 27. A company wants to receive a notification when a specific AWS cost threshold is reached. Which AWS services or tools can the company use to meet this requirement? Choose 2. A. Amazon Simple Queue Service, Amazon SQS. B. AWS Budgets. C. Cost Explorer. D. Amazon CloudWatch. E. AWS Cost and Usage Report. Correct answers B and D. AWS Budgets. Amazon CloudWatch. Explanation: AWS Budgets lets you set custom cost alerts and thresholds. CloudWatch can send notifications based on cost metrics. Question 28. Which AWS service or resource provides answers to the most frequently asked security-related questions that AWS receives from its users? A. AWS Artifact. B. Amazon Connect. C. AWS Chatbot. D. AWS Knowledge Center. Correct answer D. AWS Knowledge Center. Explanation: the AWS Knowledge Center addresses common technical and security FAQs. It serves as a self-service support resource for AWS users. Question 29. Which tasks are customer responsibilities, according to the AWS Shared Responsibility Model? A. Configure the AWS-provided security group firewall. B. Classify company assets in the AWS cloud. C. Determine which availability zones to use for Amazon S3 buckets. D. Patch or upgrade Amazon DynamoDB. E. Select Amazon EC2 instances to run AWS Lambda on. Correct answers A and B. Configure the AWS-provided security group firewall. Classify company assets in the AWS cloud. Explanation: customers must secure their resources and classify sensitive data. AWS manages infrastructure, but users handle configuration and access. Question 30. Which AWS service or feature is used to send both text and email messages from distributed applications? A. Amazon Simple Notification Service, Amazon SNS. B. Amazon Simple Email Service, Amazon SES. C. Amazon CloudWatch Alerts. D. Amazon Simple Queue Service, Amazon SQS. Correct answer A. Amazon Simple Notification Service, Amazon SNS. Explanation: Amazon SNS is a fully managed service for pub/sub messaging. It supports sending push notifications, emails, and SMS messages. Check the description for the PDF download link and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for upcoming episodes. Thank you.